Bukola Koka.
From Lagos, Nigeria, I am Kelly Egiga. Bukola, don't take us back to this July 21st.
21st, right?
People who are racing for the month to end so that they will receive an alert.
I always get the dates wrong. Pardon me, the 21st of July. But it's Tuesday.
But
Good morning and
yeah.
welcome to the program. Bukola is always, not always, today she backdated us. She's scaring people that want to get salaries. Welcome to the program.
People like Kelly.
So guys, what are you tracking?
I mean, yes, guys. So let's begin with this very big story from the DSS. Kicking really hard against that judgment there against the Ansaru terrorists. I mean, that judgment has come as a surprise. I'm trying to see if I can read a bit of it for Nigerians to see and hear, absorb, digest, and dissect. Because this would come as a surprise to many Nigerians owing to the fact that these groups have been tagged or have that designation as terrorists. So it's really interesting to see the courts, give them that life sentence. So the DSS is set to appeal that life sentence on Ansaru terror commanders, but the report is also saying that they are seeking a maximum penalty because of the murdered Orire teachers. Remember that at the Orire kidnapping or abduction, 2 teachers sadly lost their lives. In fact, one in that viral video was beheaded. And so that's why the DSS is having to appeal this. The duo, you see them there on your screen, they were first paraded in July 2025. Their arrest marked the most decisive blow to Ansaru since its emergence as a splinter of Boko Haram. So I am totally in support of this. The DSS really needs to appeal this particular judgment because I'm not sure how the family of those who lost those teachers would take this kind of judgment. Lives were lost, and then you want to give them, a life sentence to just be, in prison. We know how these things work. We've seen jail breaks as a result of having these kind of people in our prisons. It happened in Kuje. It happened, I think, in Abuja. So I think in Kogi as well. I can't remember now. So and if you also tie that to the fact that these guys were asking for these commanders to be released. That's why they held these pupils and teachers captive. Then this indeed is not justice. So the DSS, I believe you have the support of many Nigerians to appeal this judgment as soon as possible. And that's why some of us, I mean, when the Minister of Defense recently said, shoot on sight, don't wait for any, once you see a terrorist, shoot on sight. Some of us are in total support of that decision because we have gone through this path for too long. We've seen insecurity play out in the north, in the south, in the east, in the west. And I mean, we cannot keep going on and on and on like this as a nation. So for me, I'm totally supportive of the DSS appealing this particular sentence. Bukola.
Indeed, and you were saying earlier that the investigations trailed these suspects, by the way, they're by the names Mahmoud Mohammed Usman, alias Abu Bara, and Mahmoud Al-Nigeri, alias Mahmouda, and they are masterminds behind several of Nigeria's most notorious terrorist operations. Investigations, according to the DSS, trailed them to the Kuje Custodial Center jailbreak, where several terror suspects were released. If you recall that deadly jailbreak in 2022. Also in 2019, investigations linked them to the kidnapping of Magajin Garin Daura Alhaji Musa Umar Uba, the abduction of the Emir of Wawa, and numerous other attacks on civilians, security personnel, and critical national infrastructure. And we did recall, prior to the release of the kidnapped victims of the Orire local government area in Oyo State, that the Minister of Defense did say one of the reasons it had made it that had been responsible for the difficulty in getting the Orire victims out. Recall that they were in captivity for about 55 to 56 days. Was that the commanders of the terror group, the Ansaru-linked terror group, were negotiating the release of their leaders, and that would be these guys that have now been sentenced to life imprisonment. And so, if that were the case, and we know the modus operandi of the Ansaru-linked terror group, attack on security installations, kidnappings, that's the modus operandi of this deadly group that is linked to Al-Qaeda. And sometimes, they could say that the law is an ass, that it is what is brought before the judge, before a competent court of law, that the court considers, and then it reaches its, verdict depending on the nature and the weight of the evidence that is before it. But we cannot be unmindful of the impact, the deadly impact of terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping on Nigeria as a nation and Nigerians, the people of Nigeria. These people have rendered many Nigerians fatherless, motherless. They've made many children become orphans. Schools have been shut at different times in many states of the Federation as a result of terror-related activities. As a matter of fact, I recall the other jailbreak that you were talking about, the one in Kogi State, Kotonkarfe, and after, 2022, and for much of this administration, before what we now consider to be the different and more resolute approach to tackling insecurity, that these terrorists had been running riot in the north central, in Kogi, in Kwara. You can recount the number of, kidnappings, activities that we have seen. And I recall one of our conversations with the Commissioner for Information in that state, where I asked that could this higher rate of crime that we're seeing, kidnapping and banditry, be linked to the most recent jailbreak, and that was dismissed at this particular point in time. But if these terrorists have the effrontery to confront a whole nation, a whole government, a nation with a government, with the armed forces, with the police, in the way that they have done so consistently, negotiating to be integrated, to have their terror commanders, and now we're seeing clearly that they're also responsible for jailbreaks, then the judges must also be listening in on conversations somewhat and be seeing that they are a menace. Terrorists are a menace to society, and it is the same approach that they deal with the society that they should be dealt with. They should be sent to their maker in a very short time after accelerated trial, of course, for them for the crimes that they commit so mercilessly against the nation state.
I think people need to understand the people we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
These guys are fundamental ideologues. They don't care about you, they don't care about me. They care about what their mission is, whatever that mission is. Now, for a background, from the security expert, you will know that what we're talking about here are people that even the West has been looking for over a decade. Our own secret police were able to catch them, arrest them since last year. And there are so many things that have happened by their foot soldiers. These are two commanders of Ansaru. These people who are breakout of Boko Haram, who are affiliates of Al-Qaeda, all they understand is killings and deaths and force. Now, the DSS and the secret police were able to arrest them, two of them last year. And they've been in custody, been on trial, and for whatever reason, they didn't change their plea. They've been looking for a way to get out of the custody of the Nigerian authority. Let me refresh people's mind. Orire, we literally were here shouting on the failure of government. Government is not doing enough. There are so many failings of government, and today is not the day. Now, these guys, what they did in Orire is unforgivable. Picked children, picked teachers, chopped off the head of a teacher. Because part of what they wanted to send as a message is release these two commanders that have now been sentenced to life. So sentencing them to life is like a tap on the wrist. That's why DSS is saying not going to happen. Now, we have a lot of things we can say about the government. We have a lot of things we can say about the security agencies. But on this one, we totally agree that they must get the capital punishment. If you kill by the sword, you will go by the sword. The law is clear as far as, well, I cannot tell the judge, we cannot tell the judge what to do. That is why the only avenue is now to appeal this case because the secret police is saying, you need to understand what these people have perpetrated. Orire incident is one of them, and it's still fresh in our mind. Those children have been rescued, but the man did not come home. The children of that man, the wife of that man, they will live with the trauma of what happened for the rest of their lives. Those are some of the videos, even those of us who are journalists, wouldn't want to ever see again. And the commanders who are responsible, who command all these things, for which their foot soldiers had to kill people so that they will be released, are now pleading guilty so that they can get maybe a life sentence that they got, and tomorrow we have a jailbreak. We have to send a strong message as the Nigerian state. We have the monopoly of violence. And if they were alive within a duel to be able to go through a judicial process, the right thing to do, in our enlightened view, is to send them to meet their maker. Some of us have always maintained that this Operation Safe Corridor should be scrapped. I'm happy the National Assembly woke up to its responsibility someday and said it should also be scrapped. Because the level of killings, mass abduction, inhumane activities of these men, these fundamental ideologues, cannot be forgiven. Yes, life sentence is a form of sentence, but for these people, that there are records of the evil they perpetrated, including the cutting off a head of a teacher by their own people so that they can be released, I think the fair thing to do is also send them to their maker. So on this one, I think the right thing to do, guys, just like we've said, you know, we disagree with government a lot on a lot of things, but this one, no, the capital punishment should be what it is. Because we cannot just be, life sentence looks like a kid's glove, given the potential of what these guys can do. Jail.
Even while in jail.
They can coordinate attacks.
Yes.
In fact, I'm sure that by virtue of them being incarcerated since May, June last year, the government has been able to prevent some, because they are the ones that plan and coordinate all of these abductions.
Absolutely.
So they are these are not people that were, these are fundamental ideologues. So that's why we should support the state.
And Jeffrey, recall that, you know, I talked about them being, their modus operandi being attacking, you know, security installations. And this year alone, recall the number of generals that we have lost. You know, we can count about
and retired generals as well.
Retired generals that we have lost. You know, if we added General Arabi Abubakar to that list, and if investigation trails the Ansaru group to that, then we can say that they are somewhat directly or indirectly linked to these killings. And so if they have also impacted in any way negatively on our fight against insecurity, in the killing of our very, very important commanders, whom the state, by the way, invests in training. Members of our armed forces are some of the most, you know, professional and most trained and strongest in this part of the world. And then these guys should also pay the ultimate price that our commanders, you know, the state commanders have also paid.
Yeah, Bukola, and concluding this on these thoughts, these guys are so dangerous that the UK and some of European countries, they've been looking for them for over 10 years. We got them. We finally got them, and you want to hand them a life sentence? Nah.
No way.
Let the Court of Appeal do their work. Except they don't want to continue with it, but I think enough is enough. My prayer is that this 2027 election will be the last time we'll be having an upsurge in insecurity because of all. So first, there are foot soldiers, then there are commanders. The next phase we're expecting for the security agents to go after is maybe their political class in and out of the country will get them.
Those financing them.
The Nigerian state will not be a free-for-all place for terrorist activities. It's not going to happen. We'll take a break. We'll be back after this as we bring you the daily. Stay with us.